Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse and any messages that they might have for you. I'll try to get some channeled messages from them, as well as, just general information. Maybe like if you haven't met them yet, where they're at, sort of where they're at in life, what their current energy is, and anything else we could get out of the cards. For sex for you all to choose from today. Starting over here, we have Quartz, Labradorite, Zebra Quartz, and lastly Rose Quartz. So choose whichever stack or stacks call out to you. You can check the description box or the comment section to get the timestamp, so you could skip directly to the stack or stacks that call out to you. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello to everyone who chose pile 1. We have your Aura Quartz over here. Hope you can see it. It is like rainbow-ish. Maybe if I turn on the flash, you can see it. It's really bright and pretty and fun. So it's a good stone for this reading because we see it as a stone of clarity, but also because it has that, rainbow, I don't know what it's called, like a UV coating on it. It has this quality of bringing brightness, happiness, fun into the situation. So we're actually coming from a really great place. I feel like this stone, if you were drawn to it, is signaling that if this person is not in your life, then they're very, very close to you, meaning they're on their way. We do have all these cards out here. I'll go over them quickly so you know it's on the table before we get started. We have the Three of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Magician, the Seven of Wands, the Six of Swords with Transition and Insight, the Wheel, with change and possibilities. For some reason, every time I see possibilities, I always think it's probabilities on this card. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with this reading, but we'll see. We have Shark over here with Drive, Swordfish with Focus, then Trust, Higher Perspective, and Self-Heal with Ripple Outward. So lots of different cards coming out. We have a good balance between basically all the signs except for Earth. We're not getting a strong Earth energy within this reading, which is interesting because quartz is such a grounding stone. It gives you that clarity, it gives you that wisdom, the awareness that you need to make decisions, but we're not getting that really strong here within the cards. But it's good because sometimes the pentacles, the earth cards, can indicate a slowdown. So we're not saying that this person is slow. If anything, this person's main message to you is they're on their way. Things are speeding up. They're working on things. Everything is like right on track for you. And it's like, only a matter of time before they come into your life. They do want to say specifically between the Three of Wands and the Ace of Cups that they're happy to know that you're the one that's coming into their life, or you're the one that will be a part of their life. With the Three of Wands having that choice aspect and the Ace of Cups, it's almost giving like this energy of somebody who maybe wasn't really like feeling like the right person was coming to them. This could be your energy, this could be theirs, it could be both of you, where you just, you weren't expecting that person to come along. Or maybe you were giving up on love, but then this almost like a spark came out of nowhere and you decided you're going to put yourself back out there, or they're going to put themselves back out there, have hope that this right person is coming along. And that's where we see this movement like coming through, and it's a great amount of movement. So they are on their way. I feel like with the Three of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Six of Swords, we're seeing somebody who might be either working on like getting to a better position at work. This might be a promotion. This might be like furthering their education to get to a higher level, just trying to get themselves into a position that they feel really good with, really sturdy about. This might also be somebody who has to relocate in order to get to you. So it might be a message for someone that's saying, I actually have to move. Like with the Three of Wands as well as the Seven of Wands, those are true relocation cards. Somebody who has to take a journey elsewhere. And I do feel like they're realizing right now that it's the time to move, or it's the time to like get on the path toward you. So it is them that has to reach out to you. So it's them they're coming toward you. And with that Six of Feathers, Six of Swords, we see that they're reaching the other side of the lake, like, metaphorical lake. So they're on the side that you're on. They're getting closer to you. I think there's a lot of like positivity, excitement coming from this person, because honestly, with trust and higher perspective coming through, I feel like they're a very spiritual person, and they've like sort of given their heart over, their brain over, their whatever, their thoughts to a higher purpose, a higher being, and said, you know what, you can guide me, you can make the decisions to get me, wherever it is that gets closer to you. And they have faith, they trust that whoever's watching over them is, taking them one step closer to you day by day. So it's like they finally are in this era of just having this, like a dream of having this spouse, having this life together, of really being in a long-term relationship with somebody that they could just, be with, bond with, spend time with. I'm not sure if it's like just somebody that they really like, just to sit near somebody, just to have somebody that like they don't feel alone. It's that kind of energy. I'm not sure if it's solely theirs. I feel like that might also be you, just to have somebody where you don't feel alone. But it's a really unique bond that we're coming through with the Ace of Cups and trust, because I feel like this person's like preparing themselves for you, or they're almost like ready for your arrival. So we see a quicker movement into the relationship. Although it's a steady movement, it almost feels like they know you are the one immediately. And I feel like you understand that, like you can understand their energy, the way that they're putting things toward you, the way that they like immediately start caring about you, the way that they almost like incorporate you into their lives from day one. It's a lot of that, like just how much they feel about you. But this person mainly wants to say during this time, they want you to focus on yourself. And we see that with self-heal. We also see that with the swordfish and the shark. Having two cards of water. And well, there's a lot of water across all of these cards, but having two cards that really have a lot of water, it's more so like going with your emotions, focusing on your own mentality, how you feel, what's going on with you, and just getting yourself to a better place. Just like almost like don't worry about them, they'll be fine. They're still coming regardless. But it's more so just to make sure that you're good, make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make yourself the person that you've always wanted to be. And I feel like this person has like a deep connection with you. So I also want to say, take some time for yourself. For some reason, with the almost like relaxing energy coming off this card or the illustration, as well as with self-heal, it's like they're saying you don't take enough time to just relax, to focus on you, to do things you love, to just maybe like sit in your room in quiet, or just play your favorite music or something. Just do something where it's just solely you, and people aren't relying on you or having great expectations of you. Just like exist in your own world from time to time, so that you're not overworking yourself, so that you can take better care of yourself, and really be at your best stage, open and ready for this exciting adventure that awaits you upon this person's arrival. Now, we'll say this person does have a very loving aspect to them in a way that's like very expressive. So we see that in the Ace of Cups, but that's an abundance card. It's an overflow. We also have that in trust, where there's that mirroring aspect, and we have that in the wheel, where there's just a lot of change, a lot of energy. And I feel like since the Seven of Wands is coming out with this like heavy working energy, it's giving me like this person puts a lot of attention toward you. They put a lot of their energy toward you. They want you to prepare yourself for that, because I feel like this is different than anyone you've had in the past. The amount of like love, attention, everything that you get from this person is completely different from anyone else. They are like always there for you, always worried, concerned, just wanting to know how you're doing. And it's in a like the sweetest, purest way possible, because of just this person's very like loving nature, very wholehearted nature, a very hard worker. I think they just want you to know that they're on their way. This feels a lot sooner, and I like that there aren't a lot of pentacles, because it's saying it's moving faster than expected. So you're not seeing a major delay here. And if anything, the wheel is saying it's coming through fast. So like major message is they're arriving. Just focus on yourself for now until they arrive, because I feel like they're just going to give you so much attention and, really change your life for the better, that it's like right now, just do what makes you happy. But that's what I'm seeing for this first stack and that Aura Quartz. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Hello everyone who chose pile 2. We have your Labradorite over here. Let me turn on the light so you could see. So there we go. We have that flash going on there. So if you were drawn to Labradorite, the good thing about Labradorite is we see a lot of peace within it, a lot like a removal of a lot of negativity, your own self-doubts, this person's self-doubts. So when it comes to the messages that we have from this person, we see like a very clear message, a very honest message, and one that's more filled with positivity, and something that's like embracing the future. So I already laid out all of your cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out here on the table. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Three of Pentacles, Judgment, the Four of Cups, the King of Wands with optimism and innovation, Two of Crystals with balance and adaptability, the Raccoon with resourcefulness, Peacock with confidence, patience, compassion, and lastly, Marshmallow with a spoonful of sugar. So as I was reading out all those cards, I did realize there is a slight connection to pile 1. So if some of you were drawn to pile 1, you might want to check that out. If you haven't, not everybody's going to be drawn, to pile 1. It might not be for everyone. But we have the wheel ending the last pile and the wheel starting this pile. And I feel like majorly like this person is saying they're wanting to talk to you. And I think that is more so like they're in search of you because of the King of Wands coming through. Normally the King of Wands gives me a completely different energy, but this time, since it's coming out with optimism, innovation, and it's leading forward to the Two of Crystals, it's really saying like they're actively searching for you. Like they know you're out there, they know you're somewhere, they're just waiting for the opportunity to run into you. And they've come across people and they're like, yeah, you're not the one. They have this very clear evaluation process. That's probably why we have that Labradorite coming out, where they're like, if somebody walks up, they're like, you're not the one. I'm not even gonna try a relationship with you, because they know clearly who's right and who's wrong. We see that in Judgment as well as the Four of Cups. Normally with this Four of Cups in particular, I see it like the reverse way, where it's like ignoring the right cup. But since we have Judgment here, I feel like it's actually the positive way, where it's like you're the cup that cannot be ignored. You're the one that like stands out. And they're saying that they're like, they know who they're looking for, whether it's like within them and they're completely unaware of this like soul connection you two have, and they're just like going out in search of something that's drawing them in, or they're fully aware of your presence and trying desperately to find out where you are so that meeting can take place. I do think that they have a strong connection with you. So this, like, it's really strongly giving me soulmate within these cards, like a strong feeling of soulmate. And with the Two of Crystals, because it's not or because it's the Two of Pentacles, right? Normally Two of Pentacles would have that like a choice aspect or going back and forth, but we're seeing it moving forward. So there's a lot that's going on in this person. I really feel like they're very balanced. They have like a lot going on, but it's all to sort of get everything together. Everything is coming through and it's leading toward like the right alignment. We have Two Pentacles coming out, which we didn't have any in the first pile, which is interesting because I normally look toward Pentacles as longevity, but I'm still not feeling them as like, that either lengthy amount of time for them to arrive, or like anything that would say that they're, nowhere near you. I'm feeling like it's saying they're working toward a meeting with you. And if anything, they might be saying here, it's going to be a group environment where you meet. So just like, I feel like their higher self is sort of giving you an idea. Maybe their future self is giving you an idea of where you'll meet, so that you're, almost like prepared for that encounter. But also, since we have the Two of Coins over here, Two of Pentacles, with that movement forward, it's seemingly like they're almost there. I really feel like, and that's why I'm seeing a connection to the two piles, with pile 1 and pile 2. It really feels like their main message is they're reaching out to you. They see it. their life is together. They have the right job, the right environment around them, home, whatever it is that they've been looking for, whatever they've been saving, everything that they've hoped for, it's pretty much in alignment. They're just waiting for you to come through. And the Four of Cups is that, like, waiting for you. And we have patience here with almost, I feel like this person, they might be single for a while, because like, specifically with this pile, I'm feeling like this person really knows you're out there, and they're just like not going to waste time with anybody else, because they're just like wanting this to come through. They know that this is the permanent relationship. They know that this is the right relationship. So there's a aspect of them that's sort of like, why even try with those other people when they know it's going to be, unsuccessful, or they know that that other person is not the right person. So we have confidence and patience, and like they know you're coming. They know you're out there, and they're just like, the arrival will be there the right time. This person is, I think, the showering with love type, because we have passion and marshmallow over here. Like, they just want to show you how much they care. They want to show you who you are to them. That, like, I feel like they're the type that takes you to meet their friends and their family, and they're like, look at, this is the person, like, they're so wonderful, like, I can't find any flaws in them. They just like go on and on about you. And it might be something to prepare yourself for if you're not the, like, either outgoing or extroverted type. It might be something that they're just like alerting you to, as part of their message. Or like, hey, these are my plans. I want the world to know that we're together, that you're my partner. You're here for, whatever amount of time, life partner, right? So I think it's honestly, it's like a bright and fun person. I think they have a cute sense of humor. One that like shows a partial innocence, but also like a sweetness, and like just wanting people to smile. And there's something very strong that's coming through with this person, because we have compassion, we have judgment, the Three of Pentacles. The way that they communicate, I feel like they might not be, the most talkative, but I feel like their energy is very high. They're very good at communicating, and they're one that's like, they'll find a way to express what they're feeling, how they're feeling, what's going on, so that you can understand them. But it's just really a nice energy off of this pile with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like they're saying, it's coming. It's only, good from here. Everything is going to be in a really nice place soon. And this card in particular, I think it's the only one I have that has a clock on it. And the clock illustration or image really stands out to me whenever I draw this, because I don't use that deck often. But when it pops out, I'm like, okay, it's indicating some sort of time. And it's not like it's a ways off, because that's a 12-hour clock, right? You only have 12 hours. So it feels like that's saying their arrival is much sooner than expected, especially since the King of Wands is over here. Like, they're already, almost at the end of their journey toward you. I'm not getting as strong of an energy as like they have to relocate as I did in the previous deck. They might have to, if it ties into that previous stack, but I feel like there's almost like this gathering of everything. We might see resourcefulness as that gathering, but they're sort of getting everything together, because they know that the countdown has begun. The arrival or the union between the two of you is like right there. But I really think they want to say, they're on their way. They're on their way, They're getting everything together for you, making sure everything is right, because they are that, shower you with love type, just like sweet, kind, loving, everything you could hope for. But that's what I've seen with this second pile and that Labradorite over there. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Hello to everyone who chose pile 3. We have this zebra quartz. I hope you see. Let me turn on the light. I've turned on the light with everything else. So there is a rainbow aspect to it. There you go. So it's an interesting stone because I feel like there's a balance going on between the black and the white here, but also having that aura aspect to it, or that UV film over the top of it. It has like a different, where there's more of a balance toward the positive, more of a balance toward the future, more of a balance toward the almost like what can be instead of like what we've lost. So it has a better energy toward it. So I already laid out all of the cards for this pile. When it comes to their messages for you, I'll go over them quickly so you do know what's out on the table. So we have the Page of Wands, the World, the Empress, the Seven of Coins. The Two of Acorns would be the Two of Wands with insight and focus. We have the Sun with vitality and joy. Down here we have the Bear with protection, the Crow with magic, the Pillar, Dare to Dream, and we have Oats with Just Be. So we have a like quite a bit going on here. We have what, 3 major arcana along the top, and this pillar represents I think the Emperor in, or the Empress in the tarot cards that match this. So it sort of ties into the Empress as well. So we're getting a lot of different energy. We have a lot of fixed energy between the Empress, the Sun, there's and the World. We have like a lot of Taurus, Leo, and then those signs repeat themselves within that card itself. So we're getting a strong like balance between fire and earth, which gives me the indication of this person being steadily like planning their future. This is more so when it comes to their family, where they are, what they want in the future. So the first message would be sort of like they've been really working on themselves. I think they really want to be prepared because either in the past or recently they weren't ready for like a long-term relationship or commitment, because I think they just felt like their life was like not in shape, you know, like they either didn't have enough time, they didn't have the money or resources, or they were just so focused on schooling or furthering themselves in their workplace that they really couldn't think about anything else. It could also be that with some of them, since we have the Bear with protection and the Crow with magic, it could be that we see somebody who had to really work on themselves, and this could be where maybe they weren't responsive to love, or maybe they were fearful of love, like maybe thinking like the right one will never come along, or you know, not really putting themselves into positive relationships. You know, sometimes people will be with people that aren't the best for them purely because they think that, you know, that's what they're deserving of. So we can see a lot of different things here. It's more so you know, it can go a lot of ways, but I'm seeing this mainly as just they want you to know that they're working heavily on, you know, being good, being in the right position, being where they need to be for this relationship. Also, that does indicate that this person is really like mentally stable, like really well prepared, and I think much more in touch with their like soul, you know, their heart, their mind, than, you know, anybody else. So it's actually a really good thing when it comes to these cards. The second message is, because we have that strong energy of fire, is they're ready to like change pace. They're ready to start putting that energy toward you. So if this person is like, you're wondering where they are and they have not even like gotten close to you, and you're like, it's taking a while, we see that they're finally like moving forward. We see the energy swap over to where it needed to be, you know, who it needed to be toward in order for you to really like meet up, you know, to meet each other and for this relationship to take place. But it's like their major message here is like, it's coming, you know. And I do like when Pentacles and Wands come out together, because sometimes they can, you know, indicate something that's like not compatible, but every so often when they come out, they're saying that rather than, you know, having to wait eternities for this person to arrive, we see that they're saying not only have they finished everything, so they're like the future is super stable for them, but we see that they're eager to meet you. And I love that that Seven of Coins is here with the Pentacles being earth and the fire in the background. We see that as fire, so fire and earth combined in that card, and it's like really positive way, because that's the Seven of Coins, right? So Seven of Pentacles would be right, ready to harvest. So it's like right on the edge of like everything coming together. So I do feel like this person is very close to you if you haven't met them yet. For some reason 3 is standing out to me. I'm not sure if it's 3 months. I do not think it's 3 years. I feel like it's closer to now, but something about 3 is really standing out to me. I think they're ready for this and they're waiting for this, with the bear, the pillar, and sort of dare to dream tying into each other. Feels like they're just wanting somebody to be in a relationship with, like, not like, not just having friends, not just having people to hang out with. They really want somebody that they can come home to, somebody that they can talk to, somebody that they can bond with or have a good connection with, because I don't think right now they have anybody that really feels that way. They don't have anybody that they can talk to, somebody that they can just be themselves with without any opinions or I guess judgment. And it's not to say that anything's bad about them, but sometimes it's like, they want somebody who will listen to the same music as them, or listen, to the same podcast, whatever it is. But there could be like a surrounding where they just, don't have the same interests, don't have the same, style. But I feel like the connection between the two of you is heavily based off of your interests, off of the things you like to do, and that's where you're able to bond. So they're like they can't wait, for you to come into their life, because that's when they get to do all the things that they haven't been able to do before. So they're really excited. And even with just being over here with Oats, a sort of calm card that seems like it's not very exciting. It's like the ability to just be in the moment with you, the ability to be themselves with you, and have, whatever it is, like if it's going to concerts, if it's going to amusement parks, if it's, just walking down the street, these things, just, just being together. Those are the things that they're looking, most forward to, because they don't have anybody else out there. And it's the sun that really like finishes off these cards, this pile. The sun is the brightest card. The sun is the one that says, there's no more sadness. There's nothing that you have to worry about. There's no more delay. There's nothing that's going to, cause a hiccup. It's finally there. It is positivity. It's everything you could hope for. And that it's, the fact that we start over here with a journey, stepping forward, and then one stage ending, a new stage beginning, into something that's really well balanced, really positive. And then we go over here to the sun and we see it finally, like, there it is, everything. And we even have 2 cards of journey, but I like that this one's just setting off and this one's sort of landing. So we see the completion of a journey leading into the sun. And that's where we see that you're like, they're finally there. And there's so much happiness. And I do feel like this person knows you're out there and is happy to know that you're out there. So if there's anything they could say to you, it would be like, thanks for, whatever energy you put out into the universe toward them, or whatever, if you pray about them, or if you ask the universe for them to have a good day, is those things where they're like, they're receiving it. They know you're saying those things. They know you're doing those things, and they're very grateful for it. But that is what I'm seeing here with this third stack and that zebra quartz over there. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone who chose pile 4. I have your little stone here. I will turn on the light because I did this with everybody else. So let me turn on the light. You can see it is more pink in person, I swear. I don't know why. No matter what camera I film with, it does not show up as pink as it is in person. So it's sort of like the same color as this, but it's not showing up that way. But I've already laid out all of your cards. I'll go over them quickly so you know what's out on the table. Starting over here, we have the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the 8 of Coins. This would be Pentacles as well. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups with playfulness and bliss. We have the Lovers with choice and trust. Down here we have the Boar with bravery, the Flying Fish with possibility, withdraw, soul work, and we have St. John's wort with light in the darkness. So when I was laying all of these out, the first thing I thought was, wow, this is a very heavy pentacle, which is like completely different from the previous stacks. And we also have swords. So we have stronger sword and pentacle, unlike all the other stacks which were stronger cups and wands. So we're seeing a difference. We're getting different energy coming through. Honestly, the card that did stand out to me was St. John's wort with light in the darkness, because it came out after withdraw and soul work, because that's a strong message to me that this person is currently really focused on becoming the best version of themselves. So if there's a separation, a delay, or you're like, you're feeling like this person is nowhere near you, I do want to say that this person seems to me like they just want to be a good person. They really want to be the person that is best for, you, for life, for children. If you want children, if that's your desire, they want to make sure that they're where they need to be, so that there isn't any either chaos or conflict, because I feel like they know that what's for the best is them really, doing that soul work. And it takes a lot for a person to do true, like real sincere soul work. It's not something that, like, a lot of people say that they're doing it, but most people actually are not, or they don't really want to accept their faults. They don't want to accept where they have issues. But here we see somebody who's very self-aware. And with the King of Swords, since it's normally Humpty Dumpty and he falls off the wall and he can't be put together again, I think that's a great sign that says this person is not wanting that. They want to prevent that. So they're actually doing the research. He's getting off the wall. He's going to be safe. He's going to do the things that are right. And that's where we move forward into a pentacle. And we go from a super fast card right to a slow card. But the best thing about pentacles is we see longevity, we see stability, we see patience, we see good finances, good family, and family in both like their family as well as the care and love that they have toward people who are family. So like you becoming family. That's also saying that there's a start of something. This does seem to me like this person is coming in quickly. It might be slower than the previous cards. And I say that too, like we have rose quartz and a lot of people say it's to bring love into your life, but it's actually strongly for a healthy love. So them focusing on everything and fixing themselves, I feel like it's something that they've been doing for a while, and it'll almost be surprising when you two are ready to meet, because I feel like they still thought there was more work to be done, but they were right. They did everything they needed to with that reflection, and then we see that opportunity coming through. I think Eight of Coins, Page of Coins is almost a reflection or a swap. So they do feel sort of like they aren't in the right environment. For that, I feel like they just don't have people that I think they can bond with, or people that they really feel a connection with. That might just be their friend group. It might not be having to do with family. It's just something where I feel like they want more. They just want something that really speaks to them, but they don't currently have that. And that's where we see again movement forward with the Page of Coins. Now we'll get to the stronger cards with the Three of Shells, which will be the Three of Cups, and the Lovers. So Lovers, of course, would always be that soulmate energy. And with the Three of Cups, like normally I read it as a union or a connection and a celebration. I feel like this person's like one of the big things they want to say is that they're like super excited for your arrival, for you coming through, because of what they're hoping for, or like the investment that they put in and just becoming that best version of themselves. I feel like they're almost like they've got plans. They have things sort of written out. They know exactly what they want to do, where they want to go. Like I was like they have a planner, like on this day we're going here, in this month we're going there. It's just things that they're like, these are the things I want to experience with my future spouse, or with this person I deeply care about, that's become my life. And it has a really like sweet, sort of like innocent aspect to it, because they are so focused on that connection between the two of you and incorporating you into their life, that they have all these things that are going through their head, even though like you're not technically there yet. I mean, in some situations you might know the person, or you might be in connection with them, but I still feel like it's just this really like sweet way of just having this energy, this motivation, this connection, this hope and happiness toward the future. It's really like a complete change. And I think because of that, like a light in the darkness, it feels like it's finally ending. So they just might, you know, honestly, for some of them, they might have been in more a negative spot, or where things, you know, just weren't going well, and they were wanting to really better themselves, you know, so that they could be the right person, the right time for you, and not like, regardless of you know, whether or not they are, they don't want to be the burden type. So even if they like over dramatize the situation they were in, I feel like they just want to be, you know, able to give you all their love, all their attention, and so much of their life where it's not like impacted or delayed. But their major message to me is things are changing. They're moving forward. Things are, you know, done with the past. They've really self-reflected. They've done a lot of work. And this might also be a sign to you. I think it was in the first pile, that it might be a good time for you to also, you know, just work on yourself. Just love yourself, take care of yourself, self-reflect, you know, do what will make you happy, and just bring yourself out of maybe some darkness that you've been in, so that you're prepared for their arrival as well. But they would just want you to know they've done a lot of work. They're waiting for it. They know that this is permanent. They have plans. And, you know, I feel like they're very consumed with their plans in a good way. Like they're just adding more and more to the list of like all the things you're going to do, all the places you're going, all the sights you'll see, you know, everything that you could do, they've got a plan for it. And it's such I don't know, I feel like with this pile in particular, this person has this almost like revitalized outlook, because we see that change where maybe there was a little more negativity in their past, but now we see them embracing life and moving forward. Even with a lot of the change that's coming through here, we go from instability to stability, from sadness to happiness, from you know, one stage of unity to one that is, you know, higher, ascended. And throughout all of this, we see a change towards something that is much brighter, to something that's very positive. And honestly, I don't get this light in the darkness often. So when I do, it signals, or at least says to me, that there's a big change that's taking place when it comes to this. So a good overall outlook. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. That was it for pile 3 with this rose quartz. I wish it showed up pinker. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.